Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you're all well. And here we've got some nice sunny weather today. It's getting a bit warmer, so I hope you're enjoying the improved weather if you're having it wherever it is that you live. And today I'm doing a quick little hand tied with I've got these roses here, and they've actually gone over. I don't see if you can see, they've gone over. Now, obviously, in a flower shop, you wouldn't be able to use these, or wouldn't be able to sell them to customers. But these are perfect material for just practicing hand-tied skills. So I'm going to have a go at making those into a little bouquet. So these are just leftover bits and pieces that I've got. I've just not really had time to do anything with them. So there's some freesias from the supermarket and some cream stocks, or it's all come from the supermarket, and some sort of creamy apricot spray carnations as well. So it's all just local stuff from the local supermarket, and it's lovely this time of year, all the stocks and the freesias and anti-rise, lots of lovely sort of early summer flowers coming on. It's a really nice time of year. And I've got this golden yew here out of the garden, which really would be lovely to use in the winter, but for some reason I never do, and it gets this really quite intense yellow in the spring, so it needs cutting to keep the stems growing nice and straight. So I've cut some of this, and obviously it's going to go really well with the gold roses. So before I start, I'm just going to cut my piece of string before I start, and to tie it with. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop it in some water, so it's wet at the end, so to make it easy to tie. So there we go. So right, let's start off with these. Now, I was just watching a video yesterday from a famous florist, a famous international florist, and she was talking about hand-tied bouquets, and she was sort of saying it's the old way of doing it. The traditional hand-tied bouquets, you see. And I thought, oh, so have hand-tied bouquets gone out of fashion? And I just wondered what you think about that. Is it considered a bit old hat now? I don't know. Maybe I don't like to think that I'm old-fashioned. So anyway, it's just something I noticed. She said it ever so sweetly, but that it was just a bit like the old style of doing things. And I do have sort of reservations about hand-tied bouquets because when I do that, it makes them quite sort of I always end up doing a sort of quite geometric, and it's quite controlled and tight, and a sort of dome thing, and so I can sort of see that how perhaps for a looser, freer sort of style, something different is being called for now, and I like working with natural, wild things and natural things and that. So perhaps that's something that I need to look at going forward. So what I'm doing is I'm placing these roses just pulling them down into the yew so that they sit upright. And it sort of seems to work all right. Seems to work okay. We'll get a little bit of use, a little bit of enjoyment out of them. And especially if you've got to buy flowers every time you want to practice a design, you've got to go out and buy cut flowers. I mean, it costs a fortune really. So it's a nice way. I think every opportunity that you have to just grab a few bits of plant material and just tie it, stick it into a hand tie. That's a really good idea. So that one's gone in the wrong place. Anyway, so just to use these little bits up. So this week I'm trying to focus on Mother's Day and how to decorate your house for Mother's Day or a special occasion. And what I would have seen about that is to decorate your house, you do need quite a lot of plant material really to be able to do that. And so you've really got to, unless you want to go to the wholesalers and spend a huge amount of money, you do need to sort of just make make do and mend sort of thing with the stuff that's around you. You can't really afford to sort of reject plant material because it's, you know, not quite what you wanted. I think you've just got to sort of make something out of what you've got. So that's what I'm doing today. I've got this golden yew that I, you know, wanted to use and haven't really got round to using. So I'm going to keep these bits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 bits there. I'm going to keep those to the end, just to probably finish off the design around the outside. And there we go. So this is going to be a nice, bright, cheery design that you could just sort of, you know, to have in your house. I mean, it is really bright with this gold. I must say, it's a really, really bright thing. Yesterday I was working with sort of darker colours, and I'm really noticing the difference here. Have you had these bright yellows and creams? It's absolutely gorgeous. So pop that last one in there. So just to make, I'm not too keen on these tall, these are sticking up. I find them quite difficult to work with. But anyway, I hope I'm not making this too geometric, and we're propping up, managing to keep the roses propped up. So, and I hope the sound is recording on this. I'm doing this second time round. The first time I recorded it, the sound didn't come out, so I'm doing this second time hoping it all comes out all right. So what I'm looking forward to now that the warmer weather's coming out is to actually have some wildflowers coming out. I just noticed they're all pushing up out in the garden, and it won't be long before we've got some lovely wildflowers in the garden to pick. So you know, I'm thinking about ideas for how to use that sort of thing. The cow parsley is just starting to come out now, and how to use that wild material. And probably a hand tied isn't a great design for wild things. So I'm having a think about what I can do to use that wild material. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this yew around the outside to prop up the roses, so that they, you know, so where they've all collapsed and fallen over, they've got something to prop them up and support them. So just pushing them up with the yew there. So, you know, when you look at it, nobody's going to know. And that's a useful skill, because sometimes, you know, some flowers are sort of naturally floppy. It's not that they're going over, it's just the way they are. So there we are. Look, I think that'll do. That's all gone in, all finished there. Didn't take many minutes, did it? And that's a bit long sticking up there. But anyway, so there we are, a little golden hand tied out of leftovers that were due for the compost bin. So I'm just going to tie that now with my wet twine. And so it said International Florist last night was saying, oh, you have to hang it out with your teeth, but I don't think you do. If you use wet twine, you don't have to, because it sort of sticks. So perhaps she was meaning that you could sort of hold it up in your hand. She was holding it up off the table, but the thing is, you can just tie it, and when it's wet, it doesn't slip back, and you can just tie it into a nice tight knot like that. So in the defence of the hand tie, what I do like the stalks, that you get you know, the stalks are part of the design, aren't they? So I think that is, I think that's part of the design. So if you don't do the hand tie, you lose the stalks, and I think they're quite important. It's quite important to have the stalks really as part of your design. I think it takes a little bit of time to trim them all. So there's no hands, so that it stands up. But there it is, a little hand tie out of leftovers that were going to go in the bin. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is my first one, and thank you for joining me. And I'll speak to you soon. Lovely. Thank you for being here. It's been lovely.